everyone, I'm Arnell, and today we're going to look at reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns, also called intensive pronouns, and reciprocal pronouns. I know this looks like a lot of grammar, but we'll do everything step by step. Here's today's lesson plan. Reflexive pronouns, basics, examples, themself and oneself. Emphatic pronouns, basics, examples, and then reflexive or emphatic pronoun test. Reciprocal pronouns, basics, examples, reflexive or reciprocal pronoun comparison. And we'll end with a big review. Let's start. This is Joe. Joe bought Gracie a coffee. If I use pronouns, I can say she bought her a coffee. That's clear. Joe bought her dad a coffee. She bought him a coffee. Joe bought everyone in her class a coffee. Joe has a lot of money. She bought them a coffee. Last one. Joe bought herself a coffee. We use reflexive pronouns when the subject and the object are the same thing. Let's compare. Mark turned the light off. The light turns itself off. Same thing. The light itself, same thing. Look at my chart here. We have 8 reflexive pronouns. You can see reflexive pronouns end with either self or selves, singular and plural. I also put the subject pronouns there to help you. 8 reflexive pronouns. Let's do 8 examples. I was really nervous about my interview, but I told myself to smile and act confident. You shouldn't read in the dark. You'll give yourself a headache. Ed talks about himself a lot. Talk about himself. I think I know more about him than I do my own dad. One of my colleagues is a bit odd. She likes talking to herself. Come on, Suze. Finish this email, then you can get some tea. Yeah. Come on, start your essay. It's not going to write itself. I am an essay. I am writing myself. Well done on the test, everyone. You should be really proud of yourselves. We taught ourselves how to cook, and we opened a food truck. Dougie and Kylie are planning to sell everything they own and travel the world. They really need to ask themselves if that's a good idea. So it's clear the reflexive pronoun refers back to the subject. Common mistake. And this is funny, this isn't a common mistake with English students. This is a common mistake with native speakers. Tamar and myself will be available over the weekend. Tamar and I is your subject pronoun, right? If you have any questions, you can ask Pierre or myself. Pierre or me. Me is the object pronoun. So you might hear native speakers saying this because they're trying to sound more formal, but it's actually not correct. Back to this chart. We know they and themselves are plural pronouns. But it's very common to use they and themselves as singular pronouns. Why? Because it makes life easy. It's easier to say they instead of he or she. It's easier to say themself instead of himself or herself. It's kind of like the words anyone, someone. Male or female, it doesn't matter. Someone left their phone in the changing room. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will come back and get it. They, this can be he or she, but we're talking about one person. We need to grit this sidewalk. It's icy. If someone slips and injures themselves, we are in big trouble. This is a lot easier than saying, if someone slips and injures himself or herself. But themself isn't always considered correct. If I go into Microsoft Word, I can type myself, okay, himself, itself. But when I try themself, autocorrect. And again, and again. These are only read because they are repeated words. So, themself is very common, and you will hear it used in conversations, messages, etc. But if you're taking an English exam or writing something academic, don't use themself. You know, someone might be like, oh, themself? Okay, let's end our reflexive pronoun section with oneself. Oneself is a reflexive pronoun of one, meaning a person in general, no one specific. And this is a formal reflexive pronoun. One must learn to understand oneself before understanding others. One may choose to express oneself through art. 8 reflexive pronouns, done. 10 if you include themself and oneself. Are you ready for emphatic pronouns? Ta-da! They are the same! So, what's the difference between reflexive and emphatic pronouns? Reflexive pronouns are necessary. You cannot remove them. You shouldn't read in the dark. You'll give a headache? That doesn't make sense. Emphatic pronouns give emphasis. That's why they're also called intensive pronouns, and they are optional. I solved a big problem at work, and the CEO himself came to my office to say thank you. Okay, why am I emphasizing this? Let's look at a company's hierarchy. The CEO is at the very top, right? I'm at the bottom. Normally, CEOs only talk to top management. So I want to emphasize this. He himself, wow, came to my office to say thank you. The new online learning platform is complicated to use. The teachers themselves don't know how to use the software. Why do I want to emphasize this? Because if the teachers don't know how to use the software, how can the students know how to use the software? Look at the position. After the subject. After the subject. This is a very common position. Put your emphatic pronoun after the subject you are trying to emphasize, because their action is either impressive or important. And you can remove the pronoun. The sentences are, as you can see, grammatically correct, but the feeling is very, very different. Let's do some more examples. I've already given you an example for himself and themselves. Whew, we can skip those. I know a lot of people have told you not to open your own business, but I myself think it's a great idea. You really can't complain about the new working hours. You yourself voted for the change. CEO Sandra Hawkins reminded everyone that she herself was once a junior in the company. How was the art show? Did you win? No, my sculpture collapsed an hour before the judging started. Collapsed? Did someone push it over? No, the sculpture itself collapsed. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you RoboScan. Later this evening, you yourselves will be able to test this amazing security robot. We shouldn't blame others. We ourselves must take responsibility and change. So the position after the subject is clear. But what happens if we move that emphatic pronoun to the end of our clause or sentence? This usually means without any help. Parents, you can't help your kids with this project. They need to do it themselves, without any help. Did you make this entire meal yourself? Wow, really impressive. Without any help. Hey, Arnell. Hi. Do you like my hair? I cut it myself. Yeah. Very unique. Common question, myself or by myself? If we just use emphatic pronouns, this means without any help. We just looked at that. If we say by myself, this means alone. The problem is, normally if we do something without any help, we are alone. So, in this example here, I edit these videos myself. I edit these videos by myself. These really mean the same thing. There is no difference in meaning. But if you really want to mean alone, there are some situations where you can only use by plus emphatic pronoun. I like spending time by myself. We can't say I like spending time myself. Maria sits by herself at lunch. She really doesn't want to talk to anyone else. Mini test. Are these pronouns here reflexive or emphatic? Pause the video to do this. Okay, numbers 2 and 5 are emphatic. How do I know that? Because I can remove them and they still make sense. 1, 3, and 4 are reflexive. Look, if you remove them, they're not grammatically correct. And we need them because we want that pronoun to refer back to the subject. Good news, I have good news. There are only 2 reciprocal pronouns, each other and one another. Sheila gave Aubrey a gift. Aubrey gave Sheila a gift. Sheila and Aubrey gave each other a gift. My husband cuts my hair. I cut my husband's hair. This saves a lot of money. We cut each other's hair. Notice in this one, it's possessive. Each other, 2 people, the same action goes both ways. Which sentence is more natural? My parents love each other very much. My parents love themselves very much. The first one is more natural, right? One another. 3 or more people, the same action goes to everyone. It's important to respect one another. I have a big family. We always send pictures to one another. In my company, we have to review one another's work at the end of every month. Possessive. But nowadays, many people use these 2 interchangeably and there is no difference in meaning. I think that's why these can be a bit confusing. For example, professor. It's important to help each other prepare for the exam. It's important to help one another prepare for the exam. These mean the same thing. So it's good to know the guidelines, but you can use these reciprocal pronouns interchangeably. Okay, are you ready for a big review? The question is, am I ready? I'm going to try and remember everything. Reflexive pronouns. We use them to show that the subject and the object are the same thing. Themself, the reflexive pronoun of the singular they. It's very common, but it's not always considered correct. Oneself, the reflexive pronoun of one, very formal. Emphatic pronouns, intensive pronouns, are optional. If you put them after the subject, you really want to emphasize the subject's action. If they go at the end of your clause or sentence, you want to emphasize without any help. If you use by, this means alone. Each other and one another can be used interchangeably. These are reciprocal pronouns. But as a general rule, people tend to use each other to mean two people and one another to mean three or more people. I think that's everything. Did I forget anything? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to make another video for you. I hope this was helpful and see you next time. Bye!